Oh, the scheduled event.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Well, I
are
can
we live?
schedule it, but can you see it?
It says live on YouTube.
Yep, or it's coming.
I haven't seen it on YouTube yet.
Woohoo! There we are.
There we are.
Yep,
It says live on YouTube.
I hear it.
Gotta mute that bitch.
Oh gosh. We'll
I
have
ain't
to
wrap
just
tight.
wait for everybody to come in and we will do our thing.
What did she say? Hello.
Hey, what? Thanks for coming in. We're just going to wait for it to build up here a little bit. We're just going to have a good time. We're getting back into this paranormal thing.
Let me share
Peachy
it on
Pie, hello. Yes, please
Let
share.
me share it to the twatter.
I'm going to do that too. I am going to do that too.
Do, do, do. All right.
Yep, there we go.
Yay for us.
See, you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Uh-oh, they say they're buffering.
Oh, it shouldn't be. Hit F5. That you might have to reload because I'm not buffering on this end. It looks good. Hey, the boys. Silver Shadows. Hey, it's been so long. I know. What have you been up to?
Who, me?
No, but
Everybody.
what did she say? Everybody. No buffering. Okay, good.
Awesome.
Good. She's just going to have to refresh. There's Paula's account. Hey, Black Cat Lover Hugs.
Oh, that's not the one to subscribe to. That's my dead makeup channel.
Oh, okay. Well, doggone it, girl. Quit doing that kind of stuff to me. I'm sure glad you all came in. You guys could have been all over the internet tonight. There's so many other live streams.
I was going to say, there's just all kinds of stuff popping off. And
I know. I'm sorry, Silver. Are you on an Android phone by any chance? If you are, Android did update, and a lot of people are having problems with it buffering on their phone.
Oh, Peachy Pie's buffering too.
Peachy Pie's buffering, and I am not. I'm running fine here.
I was going to say,
So,
I'm not buffering here.
I know Cab was having a dickens of a time last night. You're not, can you go into your YouTube, Paula, and see if it's buffering at all?
Hold on just a second.
I'm fine. My internet connection is good.
Let me mute it first.
Okay, Silver, I'm sorry. The boys lost you, she said. Well, what in the heck is
No, it's
on?
running fine over on mine end.
Yeah, I'm running fine. My internet's good. I don't know. Guys will just have to either get on your computers or your, what do you call those little things that look like a book?
Tablet?
There you go.
Laptop?
There you go. That'll work. Smart ass.
Better than being a dumb one.
Like crazy in Cab's room for some reason. Yeah, Black Cat. I saw a lot of people having the same problem last night. I don't know if it's a YouTube problem or if it's an Android problem.
It's a conspiracy.
It's a conspiracy, right? You got that right. But, my internet here is fine. I'm running good. All I have is a phone. Okay, Lit. You're back. Deep sleep, hello. But boys, I didn't go anywhere, honey. I'm fine. I've been watching on YouTube here and it's looking good. Actually, I haven't seen myself leave the system at all. So I don't know I don't know.
The Oobs even put lipstick on tonight.
I did. You guys.
Just for me.
Oh, you're so full of hooey.
I know.
Yeah, it says I'm doing good. So I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so as you guys all know, we have not been on here. I'm sorry, Silver. I'm so sorry. Oh, thanks, Deep. I hope you're doing good. We have not been on here in a while doing paranormal nights. We had to quit for a while for various reasons. One of them is my health. Hang on just a moment. Cameo!
And Paula was fed up with the BS.
Paula
That was
was fed up
another
with
factor.
the BS. I was fed up with the BS. My health wasn't good. But we're back. Cameo, it's so good to see you. I watched your video today of the old Jeep being hauled off, 30 years.
Oh, wow.
I know, 30 years. They were loading it up to the back. Hey, Coastal, big hugs. They were loading it up on the back of the flatbed and hauling it off.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
Coastal.
Good to see you too, Cameo. Bless your little
I was
heart.
like that when they took off my Chevelle.
50 years, 50 years. I'm sorry, it was 50 years. I'm sorry, Silver, it's not working out for you, but I mean, I'm good here. I don't understand. Rock G, hello.
That stinks.
Yeah, I know it, right? Yeah, you should sub to Cameo. She's got some pretty cool stuff. Her and her husband right now are remodeling their kitchen.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's been quite a deal. Vintage. Hello, sweetheart. So we're going to do something tonight, and to be honest with you folks, I do not know what it is. I told Paula I want the ultimate of the surprise. So I got my hat down over my eyes, and we are going to do this thing. I have no idea what she's going to throw at me tonight.
We're going to be doing the paranormal thug life tonight.
Paranormal thug life. Woo!
Well, see, you know, the other day, Uber sent me a clip of a live stream of someone who was casting curses.
Melton John, everybody, Melton John. I said,
in a live stream.
Get a hold of this guy. Oh.
And then, unfortunately, when I opened the link up, I snorted Pepsi up into my sinuses. That didn't feel very good. And I think I texted you back and said, do realize how full of shit this guy is, right?
Oh, God, yes. Hi, Irish.
And Paula actually has a very good acquaintance and a good friend who is practices heathenry, and he is a black witch. And I actually sent my friend Nightshade the clip.
Oh, I bet he got a big kick out of it.
I sent you his response. He's like, is this a comedy skit or something? What the fuck?
Oh, God.
So just to let you guys know that in case you didn't know, that Melton John is full of crap.
They call him Mental John.
And you would never have to worry about him laying a curse, a hex, or anything else against you.
No.
And a lot of people do not realize curses and hexes are part of the dark arts. They are called baneful magic.
Baneful
magic?
That is
what we are going to talk about tonight.
So if I said, I'm going to bang that guy, it would be baneful magic?
It's lumped into the dark arts, and it's baneful. BANEFUL.
Oh, I thought
magic.
You said bang as in banging.
Not bang. We're not banging, especially not Melton John. We're not banging. Okay. He can go bang a pot in the kitchen, but not this girl. No.
All right.
Mental is in the spiders chat saying he's a drama channel.
He's a drama channel?
Okay.
Oh my God.
So there is a big difference between a hex and a curse. Okay.
Oh my God.
A hex is when someone calls upon another supernatural power, like your ancestors, a god or goddess, usually a dark one, say like the Morgan or Kali, or a member of what is called the Goetia. And the Goetia is what the church has deemed demons, or Daemons, demons.
Okay, the church meaning the Catholic Church?
Early Catholic Church.
Okay, so Goetia is considered demons.
Well, Goetia, when you are born, you are assigned a spirit guide, a guardian, a master or an ascended master, an elder, angels, and a member of the Goetia that follow you your entire lifetime.
Okay, so that's what, 6 people or 6?
6 or more, because you can have more than one type of guardian. You can have more than one type of angel. Plus, you then have your own ancestors coming in and visiting you from now and again. And they give you a little bit of guidance along the way, like popping into your dreams and stuff like that too.
Ooh.
But the Goetia are in the like pagan creation story. Everything was like chaos. It was a void, and out of the void, other known as chaos, came Gaia, who is like the Mother Earth. Okay. Then she gave birth to Uranus, which is Father Sky. And then all of the Titans were born in the Greek pantheon. And then from there, gods and goddesses were born. But they were also primordial beings called the Goetia, which are the dark side, okay, or the darker element.
Why in the hell would I want a darker element in my life?
Well, everybody has dark within, okay? You have anger, right? You've got jealousy, you've got envy, you've got all these neat little parts of you that make up to you. Yes, Nike is the goddess of victory.
Cool.
And so you have dark parts of you, as in addition to the good parts of you. You know, you're very loving, you're very kind, giving, da 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 da. Vintage Willow, good night, hon.
Okay, Vintage, good night, sweetie.
So,
will be big hugs.
For every good, there's a bad. You know, there's light and dark. There's light and dark in the day. There's cold. There's warm. There's everything in between. So you need to have them to balance out everything. Okay.
Okay.
So when a witch calls upon a member of the Goetia for a hex is really quick, it's fast, and it's short lasting. Okay, it's boom. It's like, you know, kind of like the kick in the back of the head. That's what a hex is. Okay. Now, a curse is something that the witch does theirself. Curses can span a great length of time. It can span generations. You can curse land. You can curse families. You can curse any number of things. It just depends on how pissed off the witch is. Okay. Ew. But it's that witch laying that intent. It's not using a supernatural power like, you know, calling upon a god, a goddess, or a member of the Goetia. Okay. Okay.
Before we go any further, can you tell people the difference between spiritual and religious?
Well, the religion is the actual framework and the dogma. Okay. That is, you know, whether you are a polytheistic in religion, if you're monotheistic, meaning one God, that dogma, your Bible, your Talmud, your Quran, whatever, that is your dogma and that is your religion. Okay, your spirituality is your own personal relationship with your higher power, whatever you call it, whatever it is,
Okay.
or whoever it is. Okay.
Okay.
And so a lot of people get the two they mix them up. Okay.
They want to know your channel name, Paula.
Well, my witch channel is the Witch's Cauldron. So hold on, let me look it up, and then I'll drop
There
a
you
link.
go, Wilby. Yep. Hey, Errol.
Anyhow, so I am one of those witches that is of the belief, even though I am a Wiccan, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I walk in the light.
Yes, you do.
For the most part.
Yes.
I got a little bit of gray around me, you know, right up here at the temples. But I know a lot about the dark and the baneful, so I know how to protect from it.
Right.
So a lot of people think that because you're a Wiccan, because there are 8 words in what is called the Wiccan Reed, and a reed is like a set of directions. It's like a code of honor to work for, okay, to work toward. There are 8 words of it that says, and it harm none, do as ye will. Well, a lot of modern Wiccans take that to mean you only do things in the light and you don't even learn about the dark.
Dark, right.
And that leaves a big imbalance, okay? Because you can't defend against the dark if you don't know what it is.
Right. Hit enter so people can sub to your channel, honey.
Yeah, hold on just a second.
Man Merrick said, ours is Jesus Christ, but we don't have faith in the Bible as complete truth. Bingo. Hi, Matt.
Exactly. And there are witches who their practice is based in hold on just a second.
I know I'm
Christianity.
I'm getting you going in all different directions here.
Right. There are practitioners, magical practitioners or witches that Penny, exactly. You have to know about the dark to stay in the light, and it's important to know the difference and to recognize it.
But see, in actuality, that's the same as a religious person. They know about the dark, such as Satan, and they know how to stay out of it by the light.
You know your 10 commandments. You know what you're supposed to do. You know the rules you're not supposed to do.
Right.
So, you know, it's the same thing. And there are witches who practice what is called like Southern conjure, Santeria, voodoo, and hoodoo. Those are all based in Christianity. And a lot of people don't realize that. And that's very particular, more to the Southern United States, because a lot of, you know, voodoo came out of Haiti from the slaves in Haiti that were brought here. And then conjure came from Africa. A lot of it did.
Right.
Where I'm from in Appalachia, because I primarily practice conjure in addition to, you know, being Wiccan, my gig is conjure. And in Appalachia, it was an amalgamation of African, Native American, and then Celtic, because a lot of the people in the Appalachians and Alleghenies are Scots-Irish, Irish, and Scottish, and English. So they brought that Celtic magic with them to the States, and that all kind of blended into what's called hoodoo, mountain folk magic, or conjure, Southern conjure. So, you know, and people worry about getting hexed and exactly. A lot of people practice Christian Wicca. Okay. And even when I was training, there was a lady in my class, and I have to give my HP all props, because she did not turn anybody away. If you were Christian, if you were Jewish, if you were this or that or something else, she found a way to get you to embrace your magical side. And she didn't say you were wrong. She didn't say one was more right than the other. She wanted us all to understand each other and where we came from.
Right.
So that was one of the beautiful things about the tradition where I studied, because a lot of traditional Wiccan or even trad witch covens, they just keep everybody out unless you think exactly the way that they do. And so, and that's a big turnoff, because a lot of people who turn to Wicca turn that way because of, they were told, this is the only way to believe, because when I was brought up primitive Baptist. I was told all the Catholics were going to hell because they didn't believe the same way we did,
Yeah.
And we just don't want to have that kind. I think your spirituality, as long as you have a relationship with a higher power, more power to you. You find what works for you.
Exactly.
And what speaks to your soul, what makes your soul sing, what makes you want to stay in a positive, manifestation of positive love and light. And that's where I've kind of like brought mine around to. But the chances of a witch actually taking the time of day to sit there and curse you is pretty slim.
Now, what happens?
It does happen. And because there are some witches who have a very short fuse, and they will slap you in a heartbeat. With me, it takes a whole lot. You got to be a right a-hole for Paula to give you a witch slap. You have then crossed the line.
Okay, when you say witch slap, what do you mean in layman's terms?
That means that I am going to, usually what I do is I reflect that negative energy that you're putting out, like in my direction, right back to you. Only I give it a multiplier of about 10. So it's like getting slapped.
And how would you do that?
Any number of ways. If I know specifically who's doing it, then I aim it right to that person. Okay. You have to be very careful because they can come back at you.
Right.
That's why I set up what are called general wards and protections around me, my home, and my family. Okay.
Right.
And what they do, it can be as simple as a charmed mirror up in my window that will reflect back anything negative that's being slung my way. And it multiplies it by 10 and sends it right back to where it came from. So if anybody like tries to curse me, the chances of it blowing back on them and coming back to them are pretty good.
Okay, so what happens if, like Penny said, the same thing, they can come back to you? Okay, so how do they come back to you, and why would they?
Well, I mean, they would come back because, number one, the person that you aimed it at wasn't the real target. So the divine will teach you a lesson to be more careful about who you curse and you send bad stuff out to. Karma's a bitch, and she will slap you. Oh, that's very interesting. Saw on another channel, religious people are afraid of going to hell. Spiritual people have already been there. So my mother used to say, you kind of make your hell here on earth through your own actions and the way you conduct your own life. And it just kind of builds on itself. And curses that come back on you, you can get physically ill. It can ruin your health. It can ruin your finances. It can make you homeless. I mean, there are any number of things. So for me to actually want to set a curse that is directed right at someone is very slim.
Okay, I've got to ask you this. Now, I've got to ask you. I don't know if you can answer me this or not. So, in layman's terms, because you know me, what would you do to throw a curse on me? Say, for instance, we'll use me as an example. I pissed you off so bad that you are going to throw a curse on me. What?
Well, the thing of it is that
I'm not asking you to show me.
No.
I don't want anything.
To set a curse, you don't have to do a whole bunch of junk to do it.
Really?
Because you are riding, and see, for me to get to set a curse. Number one, you don't ever want a curse when you're so daggone spitting mad that you're not even thinking straight.
Right.
I like to take my time, and it's kind of like, the old death of 1,000 cuts.
Yep.
Make it slow, make that edge really sharp, and really lay it so that it does its job. Okay. I have never laid a curse on anyone. Let me get that very perfectly straight.
Woo!
Okay. No one has ever,
Malicio.
yeah. Well,
Wow.
and then they do this. This is called the Maloik, and that's to ward off the evil eye or the curse.
Wow.
That's the Maloik.
Hi, Denise.
That is not Ozzy Osbourne and the Devil Horns. Ronnie James Dio came up with this from, Heaven and Hell and from Rainbow, and that was what his grandmother used to do. She practiced Strega, and that was to ward off the evil eye. It's called the Maloik. People don't know that.
So, okay. Guys, do not try this at home.
No, a curse, I don't need anything to curse you.
Right.
Okay. I just got to figure out what I want to do to you. How mad did you make me? Do I want to hit your finances? Ooh. Do I want to make you sick? Do I want to make you sicker? Do I want to make you die? Do I want to make your entire family die? Do I just want your kids to die? I mean, it's just like that.
Wow. And are there witches out there that are mean enough to do that kind of thing?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's crazy, crazy, crazy.
You were raised Baptist. Do I still believe in an afterlife? Yes, because I believe that my kind of my God is a lot more forgiving than the one that is in a lot of what is attributed as the Bible, because we know for a fact that over the years, whenever it's been, translated and interpreted, I mean, think how many years that there was a papal bull that said Mary Magdalene was a prostitute. Hundreds of years, from like Pope Clement in 300 AD until the 1960s. And then they figured out she wasn't a prostitute. She was one of Jesus's disciples. And so it's only human nature to put your own spin and understanding forward. And the early church was really combating paganism, so that's why Christ was born on December 25th to take away Yule, December 21st, which is when the pagan god is born. It's all the kind of things. Everybody forgets that unless you can find, most books of the Bible, especially the New Testament, they were written 300 or 400 years after Jesus died.
Right.
So,
and look at what Penny says.
Mm-hmm.
Books of the Bible have been taken out and other parts edited. People tend to forget about that.
Yeah, there's the whole part of the Apocrypha. You've got the Gnostic Gospel. There are so many books of the Bible that were deleted. They were deleted from the canon, and they were not included. You've got the Catholic Bible is completely different than the King James Version. Okay?
Yep.
So, my God is a lot more forgiving. And I always think that, I am put here to learn lessons. Yeah, Lilith was taken out of Genesis. Adam had 2 wives. The first one was Lilith, and the second one
was right. Eve. That's right.
And so, I believe in reincarnation. I believe there, is a pool of souls. You go there, you get incarnated a certain amount of times until you've learned all of the lessons you need to then ascend to a guide, a guardian, or an ascended master. Because there's like a hierarchy of where the souls go. Okay. Right. And once you get to ascended master, you're never reincarnated. Once you get up to that level, you're never reincarnated again. So I think you're sent here to learn the lessons you're supposed to learn.
Well, how in the hell do you know what level you are?
Well, when you show back up there and you get your debrief, then you know.
Oh.
If you're still here, you're
I'm
not an
still
ascended
here.
master yet.
I'm still here. Damn it.
Yeah. So, a witch does not need a whole bunch. Oh, just Beck. How
Thank
sweet.
you, Beck. Thank you very much. You've never heard of Lilith? Thank you,
Darlene,
#Beck.
Go back and read Genesis.
Explain to her about Lilith.
Um,
Thank you, Beck.
At first, when Adam was created, God created Lilith at the same time. But Lilith refused to bow to Adam. So she was cast out of the Garden of Eden, and she is attributed as the mother of all demons. Okay. And then he put Adam to sleep. And if you read Genesis, he creates woman twice in Genesis. And the second time he takes Adam's rib out and creates Eve from Adam so that she knew to be subservient to him.
There you go.
So, but if you read like the Talmud, Lilith is in the Talmud, in the Kabbalah teachings. Or the Torah, not the Talmud.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get you off track there, but I just
But
thought
yeah,
that was
so
interesting.
a witch can set a curse without any props, without any, voodoo, kind of abracadabra kind of junk. About the only stuff that was the whole point. They edited it out. If you read Genesis, woman was created twice. If you read the book of Genesis.
Or Google Lilith.
Google Lilith and you'll find it. The only thing that a witch needs to really set a curse is that you use an incense. Okay, well, Sparkles and Crafts, we will agree to disagree. All they need to do is use an incense or a smoke or a glamour to disguise their quote unquote footprint.
Right.
That's it.
Right. Well,
okay.
And Sparkles, maybe you need to look up Lilith. That's what we were just speaking of. So, hey, Deb, how you doing? We all have our beliefs. This is not to change anybody's beliefs. We are talking about Paula's beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're doing. So, I respect everybody's beliefs. So does Paula.
Absolutely.
And
but I also, it's only human nature. We all want to have our own way that we interpret words and we process language, and you can read something one way. And if it was and you have to stop and think, when the books were redone, it was, clergy that did it, and they hand wrote, and one little small strike can change a word completely. No, Lucifer did not create Lilith. Lucifer was actually one of God's favorite angels, and he fell from grace. So
yeah.
Anyhow, but yeah, so if a witch wants to hex you, which is like a one and done, I want you to lose your job and never be able to get employed, for 6 months or whatever.
Right.
Then you have to involve like another power, another deity, another demon, whatever you want to call it, even your ancestors. You can do that.
So once a hex is put on a person, can you take that hex off?
Well, usually it's so fast and it's one and done that it's over with. And a curse is another thing. You can have a curse removed, but a hex is usually just really quick and over. Yeah, it's a one and done.
Okay.
If you really want to, if a witch really wants to hurt you, they're going to curse you. They're not going to hex you. They're going to curse your ass. And they're going to curse your family. They're going to curse your land. They're going to curse your kids, and they're going to curse your generations to come after you.
That's just not good stuff. Not good juju.
Well, I mean, and unfortunately, there are people out there that will do that. And there are evidences not only of that, there have been, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a place in Ireland that's called Leppe Castle. It's Leap, but I think it's pronounced Ellie, like Leppe.
I haven't.
And then there was a king of that area that was supposedly a magical practitioner, and he bound an elemental to Leppe Castle. And an elemental, you guys have heard me, talk about them before, either, like gnomes, sylphs, undines.
Hang on, I gotta let my dogs out.
Okay. Or salamanders. And there's pretty good evidence that an earth elemental, or even a member of the Fae, which are also elementals, was bound to Leppe Castle. And that is a curse that has been set for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And they have just insane paranormal activity at Leppe Castle. And people can get pushed down the stairs at the castle and injured and everything else. So, but that king set that elemental there to defend the castle itself and never released it. And that's something that we, refer to as what I call malignant magic. And that's something where a magical practitioner has left something there and never released it. We routinely, witches and pagans routinely work with the elements and deities and stuff like that. Geckos can be a spirit animal. Yes, they can, LaDonna. They work with elements as part of their normal ritual, and acknowledging them and honoring the elements, as well as the god and the goddess, the deities that they work with. And if you get someone who doesn't know what they're doing, like some teenager that picks up a copy of the Necronomicon and starts doing, rituals in it to conjure whatever, they can accidentally bind an element by not releasing it back. And it can cause a lot of trouble. And I don't know if you guys remember, there was one of our shows that we did with Deb A that came on and talked about her house catching on fire twice, and it flooded out a couple of times, and this and that and the other. And after she finished her, Tamara, Leppe Castle does hold a lot of really sad souls. They're bound there, and it's very, very sad. But when she finished her story, I asked her, I said, did somebody in there practice magic that didn't know what they were doing? And she said, well, it's really funny you said that, because the second time the house burned down, the old owner showed up and his son had been doing conjuring stuff down in the basement, and they didn't know it. And he had accidentally bound a fire and a water elemental, and that's why that house kept burning down and flooding. So, it's magic can be a very wonderful thing and be used for good, for healing, to bring about change in the world, to heal the earth, to heal one another, to build love and compassion amongst one another. But it can be equally destructive. That's what I call about, it's like nature. Nature is beautiful in and of itself, and it can be terrifying. Look at the hurricanes and the just what they ravage, right? Look at the fires in Australia right now that are ravaging Australia. In and of itself, there is a duality to everything. There is a light and a dark, and out of the dark comes the light. Because, even though these fires are horrific in Australia, and it is breaking my heart, it is actually helping to bring people together, and people are like, donating money, begging to let us help you. What can we do?
Sending people over there to help.
Exactly, exactly. And so out of this horror, and the same thing, Uber, when we were expecting, hurricanes. Tamara, that's right. Magic is very powerful, and the person has to know how to hold it and to release it. And that's why I always say, I don't want, kids messing around with Ouija boards. I don't want them messing around.
Yeah.
I don't want them messing around with a Necronomicon and
Her
yeah.
friend, grandmother died initially we're treating to contact. Wow. To contact her. Oh my gosh.
That happens a lot. That happens a lot.
Wow.
And the one thing that, the Necronomicon is a fictional work of literature. It is not like a witch's book of shadows and there's a difference between Satanists do not worship Satan. Satanists don't believe in Satan. Luciferians worship Satan. So, it's not like the Satanic Bible. It's not anything like that. It's a work of fiction, but it has enough kernel of truth in there that some of those rituals in it get people in trouble. And, magic is itself is not good or bad. It's not evil or light. It's not dark. It's not white. It is the intent that you put behind the magic and the caster that is putting it out there. So,
okay, but isn't there dark magic and there's white magic?
There is what is called white magic, and then there's black magic, or the baneful magic. And then there's what's in the middle called gray magic. And there's, balances in nature. I mean, there's the whole cycle of life, and everything like that. For something to be born, something else has had to die, right? Because usually for a new flower to pop up, there had to have been a previous flower that went to seed, died, dropped the seed, and then that seed is what germinated and brought forth a new flower, or, new tree, or whatever. There's a death to bring forth a light.
Right.
And then in magic, it's the same thing. There is light, there's black or dark magic or baneful magic, and then there's a lot of gray in between, because that's why a lot of Wiccans are very particular about how they word their spells, and they're very, very conscientious about how they word their spells, because they don't want to bring inadvertent consequence to somebody else. Okay. And this is one of the examples that I give to people. Okay. Let's say you need to buy Penny. Yes, there is. Whispering Pines. I love that song. There is, let's say you need new tires on your car because your car failed state inspection. Your tires are bald.
Okay.
So you innocently, do a spell, said, Lord and Lady, hear my plea, send $500 to me for new tires or whatever. Okay.
Right.
Then the next morning, you get a call from your mom. Grand Aunt Tilly died in the middle of the night, and she left her envelope of money underneath her mattress to you, and there was $500 in there.
Repeat.
Okay.
Hang on just a minute, because you just blew me away with something. You just blew me the hell away with something. Did you say my mom, my grandmother Tilly?
No. What I said, your Aunt Tilly passed away.
Oh my God.
Do you have an Aunt Tilly?
My grandmother's name is Tilly.
Oh my Lord, I did not know that. I used Great Aunt Tilly for years.
Oh my God, you just freaked me out.
I'm
That's
sorry.
my mom's mom. I'm thinking,
oh my lordy.
yeah. I'm
That's
thinking,
a new one. I didn't know that because I've talked to your mama, but I've never talked to Tilly.
oh yeah, well, there you go.
No.
Okay.
So you hear this again. You need tires. So you need $500 for tires. You do this spell. And, Lord and Lady, hear my plea. Bring $500 to me for new tires. So the next morning, your mother calls, and great Aunt Tilly died in the middle of the night. Not grandma, but great aunt. And she left an envelope. She said there was an envelope of money in her mattress, underneath her mattress, and it's got your name on it, and there's $500 in there.
Mm-hmm.
You kill Aunt Tilly to get $500.
Mm-mm.
That's where the gray comes in. Okay. So if you don't word your spells the correct way,
Right.
and know what you are doing as a responsible magical practitioner, you can have unintended adverse consequence for someone else. It's like you say, I want to find a new job. I want to do this, I need a new job. And so you go and you interview and you get the job, and then you find out that they fired your best friend from the same place that you went and applied for the work.
Mm-hmm.
And you got her job. Did you get your friend fired?
Mm-mm.
So you have to be very, very particular about the way a magical practitioner has to be careful, because stuff like that can then kind of blow back on you too. It can give you your own little karmic payback for not being a little more particular.
So, okay, so I want to say this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in my opinion, this is only my opinion, guys, so don't nail me to the cross on this. You've got, and welcome everybody that's just coming in. You've got a witch.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say we have a Christian over here, and we have a spiritual person over here, a witch and a Christian. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. Now you do your spells being a witch.
Yep.
And a Christian says prayers.
That is correct.
It's not, in my opinion, anything different. In my opinion, the only difference is a stigma with the word witch.
I say that spells are prayers with props.
There you go.
That's how to explain to a layperson what a witch does or a Wiccan does with their spell. It's like a prayer with props. They have, their cauldron, they have candles, they have, incense. And Tamara said exactly, the wording is as important as the spell itself, because if it's not worded right, it will come back on you, or it can have unintended consequences for someone that you care about. Okay.
See, now, because you use your props, let's say a Catholic.
Got your rosary, don't you?
I've got my rosary right here.
They use incense in Episcopalian.
They use incense.
Yeah.
They use prayer cards.
Yep.
They use their Christian Bibles, their Catholic Bibles.
Yep.
So in my opinion, and I'm saying this again, don't shoot me.
I'm not.
There's nothing different to me. You are doing yours in lack of a better terms, in a different kind of praying than a Catholic is.
Mm-hmm. It's no different. It's like, yes, I do have a YouTube channel. It is called The Witch's Cauldron. That's my witchy channel. I also have a paranormal channel that's called Bull Run Paranormal.
Cameo, are you shitting me? You know the girlfriend I'm thinking of. No kidding. Oh, Cameo, we got to talk about that. I'm interested now. For life, and
but see, there's that karma and that payback. If you if you are what I call a poser witch and you don't know what you're doing, it will come back on you. And you know what? There's also these things that the divine hands out to you that are called life lessons. And evidently, she needed a big smack in the head to teach her a life lesson. And,
Right.
that's it. And many Christians have their new items consecrated by pastor with holy water and prayers. And
Yep.
I will tell you this, LaDonna, I have taken St. Michael's medals and prayer cards because my better half is Christian. Okay. And, he didn't know about he was very leery about the Ooga Booga stuff when we first got together all those years ago. And he has come to realize that, there is something to it. And there is something to the spirit world and an afterlife, which is something completely different than what he was taught. But he also allowed me to do, prayer cards for him, St. Michael's medals. I took them, I consecrated them myself with my own intent of protection and created talismans and amulets for him. But then I
Wow.
also took them and got them blessed by a priest in the Catholic Church. And yeah, Ooga Booga is a technical term that I learned from a lady named Dorothy Morrison, who is a very world-renowned pagan author, and loving her. I love her.
Bye, RK. Love you,
Hi,
honey.
RK. But yeah, so, and that's one thing that a lot of people give me personally a lot of crap about is because, in my paranormal world, when I'm doing investigations and stuff, everybody else on my team are firmly Christian, okay? They're not, like conjure or anything like that, but they respect my abilities and they know what I do is real, okay? But I also, oh, okay. We're glad you're not leaving, hon. But instead of like calling the quarters with the typical, elementals for north, south, east, and west, I call the 4 archangels in, okay, for protection. And I modify what I do for protections for my team and for the people that are living there so that it means something to them.
Pets and others. Yes,
Penny
Kevin.
says, I've heard of Dorothy Morrison, read a lot of Scott Cunningham, DJ Conway, Raven Silverwolf, and Raymond Buckland. Those are all great authors. And Dorothy Morrison, if you haven't read her, she is, the dog needs to go pee. So let me go let Rocky out. Uber, you entertain for a second? Because he's doing his pee-pee dance.
This. I see him back there and he's looking at you very intently.
Yeah, he's like, Mom, I gotta go pee. So hold on just a second. I'll be right back.
These dogs, I'm telling you, mine just did that to me too. Kevin says, I've always considered myself a candle lighter to bring comfort, healing, myself, my family, my pets, and others. You know what, Kevin? I used to do that all the time. Now I can't, obviously, because of my oxygen. But that would definitely soothe me. And I could also meditate a lot better. My late husband was Christian. At first, he didn't like my beliefs. He and I had lots of arguments on it, but we understood each other. Yeah. Well, basically, in my opinion, here we go again. My opinion is probably like a turd in a pocket. Who really gives a shit, right? But in my opinion, we all have to have some kind of belief. And just because we don't believe the same as other people do, some people do, some people don't, doesn't make you a bad person. In actuality, it probably makes you a better person because you're able to understand somebody else's beliefs.
Well, that was the big thing is that, like I said, I was raised primitive Baptist, but I always wanted to learn more because my sister converted to Judaism when she married her second husband because they were going to have children together. And so, in my primitive Baptist, um, frame of reference, all of our cousins were saying, oh my God, she's going to go to hell and this and that and the other because she doesn't believe Jesus is the Messiah. And I refused to believe that my sister was automatically going to go to hell. So I started learning about all different kinds of religion. And I think the more understanding that and appreciation that we have for other people and their beliefs, and the more tolerant that we are of one another, this world would be a whole lot better off, because religion is at the heart of, most of the wars when you come right down to it.
Yeah.
What does it mean anything if a person has a bad year? It can mean that, it depends on whether you believe in like astrological alignments and stuff, because I'll just tell you right now, most people's alignments have been just complete shit the last couple of years because of going into the age of Aquarius and stuff right now. It's been complete chaos for the last couple of years. And we had so many planets that were like summer before last, there was 6 months where we had 6 planets in retrograde for months on end. Oh my God.
That was a nightmare.
It was just a complete shit show.
Yeah.
So, if you believe, Penny, a lot of people do have to hide what they believe. And, that was one reason that I started my channel, The Witch's Cauldron, is that so many people, are out there seeking answers because something just doesn't sit right with them.
Such as like Pink Lady.
Exactly. Where something just didn't, sit right with them and they want to learn more. So I created The Witch's Cauldron to teach people about Wicca and witchcraft, the difference between walking the light path and what can happen, on the dark path and what to look for. I gotta go shut the deaf dog up. I will be right back.
She's got a deaf dog. Hey, Deborah. Hello, my mother's in hospice right now. They say that she is in transitioning stage. Oh, he's 98 and has lived a good life, but this is a slow death since November. She seems to not want to let go. Oh, Deborah, I'm so sorry. Have you told her it's okay and she can go, that everybody will be okay? I'm so sorry, Deborah.
Mother's in hospice. Okay. She is transitioning. I was just going to say, tell her that it's okay to go, that it's okay, that you will be okay. Because, if they're in transition, they're just barely tethered to the body at that point.
Oh, and she keeps asking if she's going to be better.
Oh.
That's a tough one, Deborah.
Well, I mean, you can say, Deborah, if the Lord wants you to be better, he'll make you better. But, if he calls you home, feel free to go home.
Gosh, I'm so sorry. My heart goes out.
That is so hard.
Yeah. The boys said, what are your feelings on people who talk to those who have passed?
Well, I talk to them on a regular basis. So, but I'm from the South. We put our crazy out on the front porch and handed a cocktail. So.
BWYA says everything that you're saying, Paula, makes a lot of sense to him.
Well, I'm not always a complete and utter smartass, though I do try. But, I don't have a problem with people who are genuine in the way that they, try to communicate with people who have passed. Uber knows.
Oh, that's happened to me and I didn't even plan it.
She didn't plan it, and it was like one of the last times, a couple times ago that we talked. We were getting ready to do a show, and I had a message for her,
Mhm.
and it hit right where it needed to hit. You know, I have done readings for like MJ from Sunbury, and her brother, she had surgery recently, and her brother had a special message for her. And her brother likes to pop in and talk to me every once in a while. And
Glad that
so,
that's-
you know, I before her surgery, I gave her that message. And then after her surgery, the message made complete sense. So, you know, I have done readings for folks on here. And then we do our, you know, our shows on the missing as well with
Yes,
Uber.
yes.
And a lot of times
Can you get
there
strong
have been
feelings?
times where I get strong feelings to give someone in the chat a message. Yes.
I did too, and it freaked me out.
I
Twice
was going
that's
to say
happened to me.
Uber did give it twice.
Yeah. Yep. And the mother was in the chat when it happened. And I gave verbatim, the gentleman was over my shoulder talking with me, and verbatim was giving a verbal on where this man was laying, how he was laying, what he was wearing, what he was covered up with, and what he died from.
Right.
His name and how old he was when he passed.
Yep.
Ooh, I've got goosebumps right now.
LaDonna, when you get like mental, like a little film playing in your head of what people and places, that's
Mhm.
clairvoyance. If you hear them, that's clairaudience. There are five of them. There are 5 clairs.
Mhm.
Clairsentience, which is just you know something for no reason and it comes to you like that. Clairvoyance is you see it like a little
Mhm.
movie playing in your head. Clairaudience is you hear it. Clairgustance is you taste it. And what's the last one? I've totally forgot. I don't know. There's a 5th one. There's a video on my channel that explains them all. And the spirit was sitting behind me, actually got a response on your camera. Yes.
That is remarkable.
Brother passed, daughter was in a conference. There was a medium I brought up, she was aware of. Daughter told her to confirm what we both got the chills. Exactly. Smell. That's it. I can't. That's clairaudience. Clairaudience is smelling.
Yeah, make sure you check out Paula, guys. This woman is absolutely incredible. And she does classes also. She goes through certain things like she goes through the oh God, what's the word? The rocks, not the rocks. See now my mind.
Gemstones,
Crystals that you guys need, how to, you know, sage your home, how to put protection out for your home or your loved ones. The channel is absolutely tremendous. I missed your link last time.
There's the one to the witch's cauldron. Let me pull up the other one.
I'm so damn lazy that I don't even post her own shit on here. You know,
you're not lazy.
I would do anything in the world to talk to my mom. She died in 2000. Actually, she died of breast cancer, Paula.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. Okay. Yep. Yep.
All right, where am I now? Oh my God, I've got too many windows open. And
go.
there is the Paranormal channel.
There you go. You got Paranormal and her witch's cauldron.
Mm-hmm. What did she says, so my dad passed in 2018, never felt him around or anything. Should I just assume he's happy as a clam where he is? There can be 2 things. That one is he's happy as a clam and he'll come around, or you just haven't noticed what he's left for you. There's actually a video on my paranormal channel called Signs from the Other Side and what to look for and what they usually mean. Or if someone has gone through like a particularly long illness, they go into what I call soul rehab for a little bit so that they can heal enough to come back and be able to see you again. So sometimes they need a little time out. And you've got to think, on the other side, there is no sense of time. So what could be like, 2 seconds to them is a year to us, Penny says, I tend to feel everything as in feeling stuff someone else feels weird. No, that's called being an empath, Penny.
Yeah.
And empaths have a really hard time. And especially having to shield themselves all the time. Empaths are the people with abilities that burn out the quickest because they don't usually figure it out quick enough to learn how to shield themselves from, all of it's like a cacophony, a barrage. Like I have to put on my armor every morning, or else I just hear, because I live in the middle of a battlefield. So I would go absolutely insane if I was not shut down 99% of the time.
Tomorrow is Black Cat's oldest daughter's birthday, passed on. I want to send my love to you, Black Cat. I would, my heart goes out to you and my love.
BWY Adventure, some of us have depression and anxiety because of feeling others' emotions.
Yes.
Yes.
True story.
Service dogs and your animals are great for empaths because they help to block and help focus you on something else.
I always see monarch butterfly if they're around when I think about my mom and a cardinal. That damn cardinal, I swear it's the same one that's followed me forever.
See, Remy, I have a male cardinal and a female cardinal that sit in my front cherry tree all the time, and I know it's my mom and dad. I have a male and female cardinal figurine in between their pictures back on my bookcase. Penny says it's the reason she stays home so much. Yep.
Yeah, Penny's a pretty interesting young lady, actually. And smart as a whip too. So
and if you have butterflies, dragonflies, ladybugs, that can be angels. And different types of angels and guardians are sent to you in different parts of your life for a certain amount of time.
Different reasons.
Yeah, it can be, sent to you to get you through a particular thing, or it can be with you for a longer period of time, or it can be there for just to keep you from pulling out at a green light when a big old truck's going to run the red light,
Kevin, that is so true. Empaths are like that. That is so true.
Had to withdraw some people because feelings engulf so much. Exactly. And there are some people, especially when you're someone that has a little bit of abilities, can the soul pass before the body? Yes.
Yes.
And I'll touch on that in just a second. Carry on for a minute, Uber.
Yep. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Coastal says I have a cardinal that follows me around, bright red, one back black feather, same one every time. Isn't that awesome, Coastal? Somebody's coming around you. I'm the exact opposite of an empath. I'm too desensitized due to what I've went through to feel much. Well, go ahead.
Everybody has a certain amount of abilities to them. Okay, so it's just whether or not you've let that switch on and embrace that part of you. Like you've done a lot of growing from a psychic abilities since I've known you, Uber.
Yeah.
When I introduced you to Marta, and we used to have Marta on here.
Yes.
And so to Kevin saying that, you had to withdraw from people because the feelings engulf me. There are so many people that I call like psychic vampires, and they don't even know that they are, but they're those people that can just suck the life out of a room.
Yeah.
Those are the people, those are really hard for a lot of people to deal with.
Look
I hear
what
from my
Barry
mom
Hot.
every day. I hear her telepathically. You probably did.
Look, read what Barry Hot has to say.
Uh,
My brother. Oh, go ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
don't hear from my brother and dad often, and only in dreams. Okay.
Well, you're hearing from them then. If they're in your dreams, you're hearing from them, honey.
Yeah, and usually it's because they're either trying to reassure you about something, or they're trying to warn you about something, or tell you that you need to pay attention to something. And sometimes you just need that little bit of love to get you through something.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Notice a pair of doves. They are letting you it's okay. No, it's okay, Kevin.
Yep.
But your a soul can leave a body. Just a few minutes ago I said, when people are in that transitioning stage, that the soul is barely tethered. Back in 2016, my sister was septic with pneumonia, and she had fallen, and they didn't find her for several hours, and when they found her, her body temperature was like 82 or 83 degrees. She was really sick. And before I got down there, my nieces, who were nurses, had her put on a central line, an event, and all this other happy stuff, which was exactly what she said she didn't want happen. And needless to say, I was the one with the medical power of attorney for her, because her daughters couldn't make the call to pull the plug. It's too much to ask of any child to pull the plug on their parent, just about. That's why she asked me to do it. Because she knew that I was strong enough to be able to say, no, we're going to cut treatment off and let her go. And when I walked in there, I knew her soul was barely tethered and barely hanging on. And that's because her body was being kept alive artificially. Or when they've been like so sick for so long and they think that they're holding on just to, keep you from grieving. A lot of time it's their guilt. They don't want to leave you behind and leave you grieving and hurt.
Right.
And they want to stick around because they don't want to hurt you. So, it was like when I talked to my sister's doctor and I said, if this was your sister, what would you do? And he said, I would pull the plug. And I said, let's do it in 10 minutes. We want to say our goodbyes. Let's do it in 10 minutes.
Wow.
And she was neurologically dead at the time. But when I made that, I was holding her hand. She squeezed one finger. She should not have been able to do that. But she left almost instantly once we turned that machine off. And I was there when my dad passed away. His pulmonary artery burst and he hemorrhaged to death in my hands. And I will never forget, because, I would trying to do, CPR on him and, kick into the paramedic in me kicked in.
Right.
Even though I knew it was completely useless to do so. And I finally looked at my dad and his eyes flew open and I said, Pop, go ahead and go. I will take care of Mama. You don't have to worry. Because I could tell he was hanging on for Mom. Because my mother had Alzheimer's. And I said, go on. I'll take care of Mama. You don't have to worry.
Paula.
And then I literally saw his soul raise up from his body and leave. So, yeah, I mean, some people take that, looking back on it, it's.
Kim, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
To let the plug be pulled when my husband shot himself. And now I have dreams of him. He never says a word. He's just there. It's so frustrating at times. Oh, Kim. Oh, See, you all have been through living hell.
Kim, do you follow me on Twitter? If not, can you follow me on Twitter? I want to talk to you sometime offline from here, if you don't mind.
Paula, you're going to have to put your Twitter out there because you got like, and I don't think you got my new Twitter, do you?
I follow you.
No, that's my old Twitter. I don't have that anymore.
Yeah, I know. I followed a new one the other day.
Oh, good. That'd be me. Kevin says, I'm a very lucid dreamer and can interact with awareness in my dreams to sometimes save some others they have passed. Wow. Remy says, I just want now Remy lost her mom to cancer at 14 years of age. She says, I just want my mom. I feel so bad for the little brother. He was 5. He has manufactured memories, which I won't dare to correct. Oh my gosh.
But sometimes when a child loses their parent at that young of an age, especially at 5, he hasn't been told yet that he's not. A lot of little kids talk to spirit. And you may think it's like their imaginary friend or something like that. And it's actually relatives. Because my imaginary friend, when Paula was little, and it was so funny. My sisters would ask me who I was talking to, and I didn't know. So I said it was Peter Tork from the Monkees. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I named him Peter Tork. I didn't know any better. Okay. And that's how friggin' old I am, people. Yes. The Monkees. I used to watch it when I was little.
You're pretty damn old, Paula.
I'm 55. Isn't that awful? God, I'm old.
Oh my gosh.
But anyhow, it was actually my granddad. And because I did not know either one of my granddads, especially my dad's dad. And it took me until I was well into my adult years to figure out who Peter Tork was. But that was the way that he got to know me, because he died before I was even a twinkle in my daddy's eye.
Oh, wow.
And, my sister Sandy was the first one. She saw his spirit at the top of the stairs on the day that he died at the farmhouse. So she's like, Grandpap's dead, Dad. And then the phone rang and they found out from the VA hospital that he had passed. But a lot of times your kids can have these memories because they're sitting there talking to spirit. And so that can kind of like, Mama could have been coming back talking to the little brother.
Right.
And she gave him those memories, or someone gave him those memories to help him get through the understanding process and to grieve, and you don't want to correct them. Just let them go, because it helped them get through whatever it was they needed to get through. Or it could have been a guide or a guardian helping them get through stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Lit, you've been through hell too, and so's Barry, Remy, all of you, BWYA. Listen, guys, next week we're going to do another show, same time, same station.
Same bat time, same bat.
That's right. That's right.
Again, showing how friggin' old I
am. We are going to be doing this show again next Thursday. And I want everybody to feel free to come back. No telling what we're going to do. We will probably talk about it later. I like the surprise element thing. I just do.
Sometimes I just like to do chat's choice, and we talk about whatever the heck they want to talk about.
Well, and you know what? We've always ended up taking that railroad train.
You mean that taking that train down a dirt track?
That's right. We always do that. Always. Oh my gosh. But I want to thank Paula. I'm going to close this down. Okay. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming in today. I really appreciate it. Paula, what do you got to say to everybody?
Be well and walk in love and light, everybody.
That's right. And I want to say to everybody that remember, Bentley Hush.
Bentley Hush.
Listen to him. There is always a rainbow. Bentley, no. Come here, bad boy. There is always a rainbow at the end of the storm. Just remember that. Hugs to everybody. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.